I'm Harley, 34, and I'm a strong, independent woman. Buckle up, because I'm about to tell you the wild story of my relationship with my husband, Dominic. Like most couples, Dominic and I had our share of ups and downs, but there was one huge obstacle in our way: his mom, Charlotte. No matter what I did, she always found something to criticize. Family get-togethers were particularly rough. She'd make nasty comments about my cooking, acting like she was some kind of gourmet chef while I was just a beginner in the kitchen. No matter what I prepared, she'd complain about how it tasted or looked, saying I wasn't as skilled as she was. It was as if she was trying to prove that I wasn't good enough for her precious son. But her criticism didn't stop there. At one dinner party, I excitedly shared that I'd just received a big promotion at work, expecting a little congratulations. Instead, she brushed it off like it was nothing, comparing it to the achievements of her friends' kids. It made me feel completely invisible, like my success didn't matter at all. And then there was our wedding, supposed to be the happiest day of my life. But Charlotte took it upon herself to find fault with everything: the venue, the colors, the details. She whispered her disapproval to anyone who would listen, ruining what should have been a joyous occasion. I kept hoping Dominic would stand up for me, but he never did. He had this blind spot when it came to his mom. He couldn't see how she treated me, how she made me feel unimportant. It hurt, and only his dad, Caleb, seemed to notice, but even he didn't intervene enough. I needed Dominic to defend me, to show me that our relationship meant something to him. But every time I was hurt by Charlotte's words, he stayed silent, letting her tear me down. It felt like 1,000 tiny cuts. I wanted Dominic's love, but I also needed him to fight for me. It wasn't just about standing up to Charlotte. It was about him showing me that our relationship mattered. I hoped he would see through his mother's manipulations and put us first. But he seemed trapped in the drama, unable to break free. The tension built over time, and I became more frustrated. It felt like he didn't care about my feelings or needs. Our relationship was stuck in a never-ending loop, and I wasn't sure how much longer I could take it. The breaking point came when Dominic said he had to go on yet another business trip, this time to Tampa for a week. Really? Another trip? It's a crucial meeting that can't wait, he said. But you just got back from a trip. Can't someone else handle it? Why Tampa? I asked, growing suspicious. His response was vague, and though I wanted to express my doubts, I didn't push it too hard. Sometimes business just comes up unexpectedly, he said. I wasn't convinced, but I let it go. 3 days later, though, my suspicions only grew stronger. I tried to video call him as I normally would when he was away, but he kept insisting on audio calls. Can we do a video chat tonight? I asked. Sorry, the hotel Wi-Fi is terrible. Audio calls are better, he said, but everything's fine. Don't worry. Something about the whole situation didn't add up. Wi-Fi issues? I thought. That sounds convenient. But I kept my concerns to myself, even as I began hearing a woman's voice in the background during our calls. It made my unease grow. I started to feel like Dominic was hiding something from me. The next day, I tried FaceTiming him again, hoping for some clarity, but when the call went through, instead of Dominic, his mom, Charlotte, picked up. She was lounging in a beach chair, wearing sunglasses and looking relaxed. I was stunned. Charlotte, what are you doing there? Where's Dominic? I demanded. She smiled, clearly enjoying herself. Oh, Harley, you didn't really think Dominic was on a business trip, did you? Honestly, it's not that surprising, but I suppose this just proves how pushy you can be. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Dominic had lied to me, and his mother was there, enjoying herself while I was left in the dark. I felt a surge of anger building up. So you two planned a secret vacation without telling me? I asked, my voice shaking. Well, yes, Charlotte admitted. Why? I pressed. Because I wanted to visit my hometown with my son, she said matter-of-factly. Is that so wrong? Not wrong, but why keep it a secret? Why exclude me? I asked. This trip was just for me and Dominic, she replied, dismissing my feelings. But I'm his wife. I should have been part of this. This could have been a chance for us to work through whatever issues you have with me, and I could have used a vacation too, I argued. Charlotte was unfazed. Tough luck. You didn't get one. I'm going to ignore your childish behavior for now. But here's the thing, if you wanted a private trip, fine, I'm an adult. But don't lie to me about it. Don't keep secrets. That's what hurts, I said. Oh, Harley, sometimes it's better not to know everything your husband does. It was just a little getaway for us. Something special you wouldn't understand, Charlotte said dismissively. I felt a wave of emotions, betrayal, anger, sadness. It was clear they had planned this behind my back, leaving me out completely. I couldn't help but wonder how long this had been going on and what else they were hiding from me. The trust one had in Dominic was crumbling. Suddenly, I heard Dominic's voice approaching. Mom, why did you answer the phone? What's going on? His voice was tense. It's time Harley knew the truth. It's been 4 days, Charlotte said firmly. Dominic grabbed the phone from her, his face turning pale when he realized I had figured it all out. He looked at the screen, caught in his lie. Why did you lie about the business trip, Dominic? And the Wi-Fi was fine, wasn't it? I demanded. I didn't want you to be mad at me, he admitted. Well, of course. I'm mad. I thought you were avoiding me. Is it really so strange that you want to spend time with your mom? A bit, yeah, but Dominic, you've been neglecting me, and I've already been feeling disconnected from you. If you needed time with your mom, you could have just said so. Even though I would have been upset about not being invited, it would have been better than this. I snapped. Frustration built up inside me as Dominic tried to justify himself. It was clear he hadn't thought about how his actions were affecting me. Dominic, I wouldn't have been angry if you'd been honest with me. It's not about the trip itself. It's the fact that you kept it a secret. That's what hurts. I thought you were seeing someone else. For goodness sake. What? No way, Dominic replied, shocked. Yeah, well, when I heard women's voices in the background of your calls, it made me question everything, I said bitterly. I have a special connection with my mom. Sometimes we just need some space, Dominic tried to explain. In Tampa, of all places? You both hate it there. And what about Gertrude? Weren't we supposed to visit her? I asked. So, was this just a secret between you two? Did your dad know about it? I pushed. I can't talk right now. I hope this trip was worth it, because when you come back, I don't know if you'll still have a wife, I said firmly, ending the conversation. Holly, please wait, Dominic pleaded, but I wasn't listening. I hung up and ignored his calls. I paced in my room, trying to make sense of everything. Why would he hide something so simple from me? One thing I've learned is that when you lie about small things, it makes me wonder what bigger things you're hiding. The idea of Dominic spending secret time with his mom felt odd. Honestly, I would have preferred it if he were cheating. I was frustrated with my distant, secretive husband and his difficult mother. I knew I needed to talk to someone who would understand. So, I dialed my father-in-law's number, hoping for some clarity and support. Hey, it's Holly. I need to talk to you about something important. I poured out everything, revealing every detail of the deception that had poisoned my marriage. Anger, sadness, and betrayal mixed inside me as I recounted Dominic's lies. From his fake business trip to his efforts to keep me in the dark, his betrayal hurt. But what stung more was Charlotte's involvement. She seemed to enjoy keeping me in the dark, relishing the power she held over me. Caleb's shock and hurt were clear from his responses. Caleb's tone grew serious, reflecting the weight of my words. What? I didn't know any of this. I'm so sorry you had to find out like this. As soon as I found out, I called you. Charlotte told me she was going to Tampa to visit her mom and fix their relationship. I believed her. Well, Dominic just admitted they didn't plan to visit Gertrude at all, and she had no idea about the trip, I said. Caleb's voice carried a mix of disbelief and hurt. It was clear that Charlotte had been manipulating everyone. I can't believe Charlotte would do this. Disagreements are one thing, but lying to her own family? That's unforgivable, Caleb said, disappointment heavy in his voice. They both need to face consequences, I agreed. That's a brilliant idea. Anger boiled inside me, and I was ready to do whatever it took to make Dominic and Charlotte realize the gravity of their actions. After a call filled with encouragement and anticipation for what was coming, I waited eagerly for Caleb to update me on Gertrude's reaction. A couple of hours later, Caleb shared the news. His voice trembled with a mix of anger and sadness as he spoke about his conversation with Gertrude. I told her everything. Holly. She was furious, devastated even. She couldn't believe her daughter would deceive everyone like this. Caleb explained. She deserves to know the truth. Charlotte has treated us terribly for too long. Gertrude has decided to take action. She's going to teach Charlotte a lesson she won't forget. She's had enough of Charlotte's behavior and wants to show her what real rudeness looks like. Ironically, I guess the problem has always been Charlotte. Caleb continued. She always claimed her mom was rude and cruel to her. But now I'm thinking Charlotte was the one causing all the trouble. I've been married to her for years. And you and Dom have only been married for 3. But you've uncovered more family secrets in that time than I ever did. I should have asked more questions. I should have stood up for myself more. How could you have known? Caleb, don't blame yourself. You were just being a good husband, trusting your wife's words. And you stood up more than your son. That counts for something. Thanks, Holly. I appreciate it. I'm just glad I could help, even if things had to come to this, I replied. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to Gertrude showing her how tough she can be, Caleb said, a grim satisfaction in his tone. The next day, the consequences of our revelations began to unfold. Dominic, still clueless about how serious things were, called me, frustration in his voice. Holly, what did you do? What do you mean? Don't act like you don't know. Gertrude is here, and no one else knows we're in town except you. She said she came because she heard we were here. I'm glad she knows the truth. Everyone deserves to know. I replied firmly. You've been sneaking around. How could you do this, Holly? Dominic's voice was filled with anger. In the background, I could hear some noise, probably from 2 women, one of them sounding much older. I assumed it was Gertrude, unleashing her fury. Maybe it's time Charlotte faces the consequences of her actions. She needs to understand what it feels like to be deceived, I said. Then I heard Charlotte's voice. You ungrateful little rat. How dare you expose us like this? I couldn't help but let out a bitter chuckle as I listened. Before I could respond, another voice, stern and authoritative, cut through. Don't you dare talk to that young lady like that. I've had enough of your nonsense. You've been telling everyone how rude and nasty I was to you. But all I ever did was care for you and help you out of trouble. You were a problem child, lying and being nasty to everyone. It seems that's followed you into adulthood. We haven't seen or spoken in years, and this is how you want to act? Do you think I'm rude and nasty? Just wait. I'll show you rude and nasty. I heard things breaking, maybe a glass or a vase, and a pang of fear hit me. As the shouting escalated, I couldn't imagine how terrified Dominic must have been. But deep down, I knew this was the result of his actions. He was an adult, responsible for his choices. I was done justifying their actions. They were finally facing the consequences of their behavior, and it felt good to see it unfold. Over the next few days, Dominic kept begging for my forgiveness, claiming his grandmother was driving him insane. Every time he called, I reminded him that this mess was his doing. Meanwhile, Charlotte and Gertrude's arguments kept escalating. Honestly, I was shocked they weren't kicked out of the hotel. By the end of their week-long trip, Dominic dropped a bombshell. Holly, please, you have to talk to Gertrude. I tried talking to Dad, but he's still mad at me and Mom, he begged. Wait, slow down. What's going on? Weren't you two supposed to be heading back by now? I asked, trying to keep up. I thought you learned your lesson, I added. Well, Gertrude doesn't think so. She's planning to come back with us, he explained. She wants to make sure my mom starts acting like an adult instead of a teenager. Wow, that's a twist. Maybe next time you'll stand up for what's right instead of letting your mom pull you into her mess. See you when you get here, I replied. Holly, I regret everything. Isn't this punishment enough? Please talk to Gertrude and tell her not to come with us, Dominic pleaded, his voice desperate. I don't think I'm the one to stop her, sweetheart. She's terrifying, I answered, cutting him off. How do you think we feel? He asked, clearly frustrated. Honestly, Dom, I don't care how you feel. You've been lying to me for who knows how long, and you never defended me when your mom treated me like crap. This is your karma. Don't get mad at me now. Have a safe flight, well, as safe as it can be with you and your mom and grandmother all together, I snapped, before hanging up. A wave of satisfaction washed over me. Finally, the tables had turned. and I had confronted the toxic dynamics that had held me hostage for so long. Gertrude, unexpectedly, had taken matters into her own hands and unleashed her own brand of justice. I couldn't help but feel a thrill. Now, I was waiting for their return, eager to hear how Gertrude kept making their lives difficult on that flight. Revenge had never tasted so sweet. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video, and stay stunned.